We begin by starting off our video with one of the most recognizable comedy games on PC. Goat Simulator is a title that has no business being as good as it is. The unbridled mayhem that players can cause in this game is astronomical. Players are able to simply go around as a goat and cause as much ruckus as possible. The game has an excellent ragdoll physics system that lets the player play with the laws of nature within its world. This can be done to much comedic effect in the game itself. Funnily enough, the game itself is incredibly solid, despite being utterly ridiculous. It is this unique blend of seriousness and aloofness that gives this title its distinct identity. With a plethora of themed DLCs, this game can be adapted in many ways to suit the wants and needs of the player. For example, there is a DLC pack for the game, which is inspired by the Payday series. The charming jank of this game only adds to its charm. So if you are looking for one of the best comedy games on PC, definitely check this one out. First of all, the Borderlands series is one that has always kept comedy at the forefront. That isn't to say that the games are incapable of telling good stories, more so that they would rather tell some jokes and allow the player to blow stuff up. However, with Tales from the Borderlands, there is quite a bit more focus on narrative. So while there are certainly laughs abundant throughout the game, it seems to be a touch more serious than past entries. If you enjoy the frantic FPS gameplay of the Borderlands series, this is also a great title to pick up. This game does a great job of balancing the absurd and the serious, which is great. Players are able to go throughout the vast world and make choices that will ultimately affect them during their playtime. While it may not be as bombastic as its predecessors in the series and takes a bit more time to tell a story, this game is still hilarious to play through. In closing, Tales from the Borderlands is one of the most fantastic PC comedy games on the market today. Among all of the wonderful reasons to play Psychonauts 2, we begin our entry with perhaps one of the most underrated. Comedy has always been a part of Psychonauts. This game does a fantastic job of bringing this element to life for the players they play. The long-awaited sequel doesn't disappoint in this regard either. Psychonauts 2 has some of the funniest interactions and characters that we have seen in the series. This makes it a great choice for one of the best PC comedy games. However, this game also has a plethora of content to explore and enjoy, as well as incredibly solid mechanics to take a part in. The game has a ton of great platforming elements in which players will truly be able to let the world design of this game shine. The quirky art style lends itself well to the sometimes dry yet wacky humor in the game. So if you are looking for a comedy game on the PC to enjoy, make sure that you check out one of the best comedy games on offer for PC. For our next entry, we have a title that comedy game fans will no doubt recognize. The constant internet attention and resulting memes that were created from Portal 2 are insane. This game greatly improved on its predecessors and served to bring more players along for the ride. The addition of co-op in the game is simply fantastic. The puzzle-solving elements of the game always feel better with a friend. That isn't to say this game always takes itself seriously either. In fact, GLaDOS is simply hilarious. So hilarious, in fact, that players will happily replay the game simply for the experience of it. The great thing about the cooperative gameplay within this title is that it is entirely separate from the base experience. This is great, it adds a ton of variety to the game as a whole. Added to this is the fact that the game's physics system can create some real hilarity under the right conditions. So if you are looking for a fantastic comedy game to play on PC, definitely check out one of the best comedy games, Portal 2. Now for our last entry, we have a game, which through its mind-bending gameplay and narration, is one of the funniest comedy games on PC. That isn't to say that it is all jokes within the Stanley Parable, either, as it also does a great job of delving into some pretty deep territory under the right conditions. While we won't exactly spoil the exact nature of the game here, as it is something that has to be experienced, simply put, the game has a way of messing with the player. Firstly, this is great as it serves to immerse the player in a unique way. Secondly, this allows the player to press on, even if it's simply to spite the narrator, who oftentimes is condescending. So if you are looking for exceedingly intelligent but still very approachable humor, then the Stanley Parable is a must-have for your game library. In conclusion, the Stanley Parable is one of the best written games in recent memory in terms of comedy, and a player would be remiss not to enjoy it for themselves.